The past holds secrets, and we're here to uncover them. If archaeologists could easily explain everything they find, their job would be pretty simple, and honestly, anyone could do it. But in reality, they're often left puzzled by their discoveries, just like the ones you'll see in this video. Let's dive in.
Number 1. Human bone daggers. Bone daggers are fairly common archaeological finds in Papua New Guinea. These daggers are often intricately decorated, and their quality and beauty were believed to reflect the status and strength of the warrior who owned them. Until 2018, experts thought they had a good grasp of these weapons. Most bone daggers found in the region are made from animal bones, but a few rare ones were actually made from human thigh bones. These human bone daggers were likely reserved for high-ranking individuals, but despite their rarity, they weren't just ceremonial. Many show signs of real use in close combat. Some 19th century explorers even wrote that tribes in Papua New Guinea used these daggers in cannibalistic rituals and acts of mutilation. For a long time, those stories were dismissed as sensationalism. But now we know that making and using these daggers continued well into the mid-20th century.
Number 2, the Roman cavalry display mask. Next up, we've got a rare Roman artifact discovered in Romania in February 2023, a 1,000-year-old iron cavalry display mask. Roman masks like these are already rare finds, but this one is unique because it's the only known iron mask of its kind in the country. Others found in Romania were all made of bronze. Unfortunately, since it's made of iron and spent centuries buried in damp soil, it's heavily rusted. Experts have identified it as a metal-type mask, known for its narrow eye slits, wide nose, and strangely peaceful expression. The mask was discovered by a hobbyist named Buck Pal using a metal detector. That's pretty rare in Romania, where using metal detectors requires a government permit. It's believed the mask once belonged to someone stationed at the nearby Roman fort of Bumbesti during the Dacian Wars. Hopefully, it'll look much better after it's cleaned and preserved.
Number 3, Fragmentarius, the Fragmenter. A lot of us worry about what AI might mean for humanity in the future, but right now, it's proving to be a powerful tool for archaeology. In February 2023, archaeologists introduced a new AI tool called Fragmentarius, designed to help piece together ancient Ionian texts. It was developed at the Assyriology Institute of Ludwig Maximilian University in Germany and could revolutionize how we decode unreadable scripts. Researchers have already run over 22,000 untranslated fragments from Babylonian tablets through the system, and they hope to analyze even more. The tool can identify existing fragments and reconstruct missing sections. It also matches pieces of writing based on known phrases from other tablets. The early results are promising, and around 200 researchers worldwide are already testing it. The goal is to eventually make Fragmentarius available to everyone.
Number 4. The Copper Spears and Swords Horde. This one's a wild story. In June 2022, a farmer in Mainpuri, Uttar Pradesh, India, was plowing his field when he stumbled upon a stash of ancient copper weapons, spears and swords that had been buried for at least 4,000 years. At first, the farmer thought the artifacts were made of gold, so instead of telling the authorities, he foolishly took them home and hid them. But after bragging to his friends, word got out, and the police ended up raiding his house. Now the weapons are in the hands of experts. So why were they buried together? Some think they were hidden for safekeeping, maybe with the intention of retrieving them later. Others believe there might have been a weapons workshop in that area. One thing is clear. Weapons like these weren't common. Back then, having such advanced arms meant serious power. Number 5. The Kiss Tablet.
Next up is something called the Kiss Tablet. This limestone artifact got its nickname because it was found inside the walls of the ancient Sumerian city of Kish, in present-day Iraq. There's a bit of confusion about when exactly it was discovered. Some sources say 1923, others say 1933. Scholars have dated it back to the Uruk period, over 5,000 years ago. According to most experts in ancient languages and cultures, the Kiss Tablet is the oldest written document ever found. That makes it incredibly important. We'd love to tell you what it says, but the truth is, we don't really know. The markings on the tablet, if they even count as writing, are partly pictographic, and appear to be an early form of proto-cuneiform. Even translating standard cuneiform is already hard enough. Translating proto-writing? Nearly impossible, at least for now. Unless we make serious breakthroughs in understanding the origins of writing, we may never fully decipher the message on the kiss tablet. There could be one message, or even several, but for now, their meanings remain a mystery.
Number 6. The Great Snesam Necklace. At first glance, if you saw the Great Snesam Necklace in the British Museum, you might assume this stunning piece of gold once belonged to a British king or queen. And if someone asked you to guess how old it was, you might say 300 or 400 years. Because it's in amazing condition, and the intricate design shows off high-level craftsmanship. But you'd be way off. This incredible gold necklace is actually over 2,000 years old. It's one of the best preserved Iron Age gold necklaces ever found in the UK. It comes from the famous Snesam horde, discovered in 1950 in Norfolk, England. It's possible that it once belonged to a powerful local leader. It doesn't follow typical Roman designs, and it's hard to imagine who else at the time would have had the wealth and status to own something like this. A solid gold necklace.
Number 7. The Delphi Charioteer. The Charioteer of Delphi gets its name because it's a statue of an ancient Greek chariot driver. It was discovered in 1896 at the Temple of Apollo in Delphi, Greece. The statue's Greek name is Heniokos, meaning the one who holds the reins. Some historians think it represents Polyzalas of Gela, a tyrant from Sicily, who commissioned it to celebrate his victory in the Pythian Games in 474 BC. Others believe the statue might actually portray Hieron, Polyzalas's brother, who also won a chariot race, but at the Olympic Games. What we see today is just part of a much larger sculpture that originally included 4 horses and possibly 2 grooms. It's likely that the artist was Pythagoras of Rhegion, a famous sculptor from Sicily, but there's also a chance it was created by Calamus, another notable Greek artist of the time. Bronze statues from this era are incredibly rare because they were often melted down and reused. This one survived because it was buried by a landslide.
Number 8. The Lions of Uruk. Sometimes called foundation picks, the Lions of Uruk are a pair of identical copper tools shaped like lions. There's some debate about whether they should even be called the Lions of Uruk, because we don't know for sure that they were made in the powerful ancient city of Uruk in Syria. That said, there are inscriptions on the tools that suggest they were placed at the base of the temple of Nergal in Uruk, which supports the connection. However, some scholars believe these inscriptions were added later, which would mean the picks weren't originally from Uruk at all. Even if the inscription is newer, it's still the oldest known example of the Ugaritic language, making it hugely significant. Sadly, after spending nearly 4,300 years together, the lion picks are now separated. One is housed in the Louvre Museum in Paris, and the other in the Metropolitan Museum of Art in New York City.
Number 9. The Byzantine gold coin. We now turn to Israel, where a group of archaeology students made an amazing discovery, a very rare gold coin from the Byzantine era, known as a solidus. This coin is about 1,600 years old. It was uncovered during an excavation by students working on, Number 9 continued, the Byzantine gold coin. In an undisclosed location near Galilee, a beautifully preserved solidus, a type of gold coin, was discovered. It was minted during the reign of Emperor Theodosius in Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, Turkey, sometime between 420 and 423 AD. While coins like this have been found in other parts of the former Eastern Byzantine Empire, this is the first time such an artifact has ever been discovered in Israel. One side of the coin shows the emperor's face, and the other features the Roman goddess Victoria holding a cross staff. Finding a gold coin from this time in such great condition is always exciting, but it's even more special because Theodosius was a major historical figure. He founded the University of Constantinople, and in 438 AD issued the Codex Theodosianus, which organized all laws made after 312 AD. That legal code laid the foundation for many modern legal systems that are still in use today.
Number 10. Roman boxing gloves. Boxing has been around pretty much since people first walked the earth. There's always been someone willing to fight, and always a crowd eager to cheer them on. The oldest known evidence of boxing as a sport goes back over 3,000 years to ancient Egypt. But a recent discovery in Northumbria, England, shows that the ancient Romans were also fans of the sweet science. Found at the Vindolanda Roman fort, these two leather bundles are actually primitive boxing gloves, believed to be about 1,000 years old. We already knew the Romans liked boxing, but these are the only known surviving examples of Roman boxing gloves. Historians believe Roman soldiers may have boxed against each other in informal matches to build strength and bragging rights. Spectators, including their friends, were known to place bets on the outcomes. This particular pair was well worn, and the owner clearly valued them enough to repair the gloves rather than throw them away. He probably only gave them up when they were finally beyond fixing.
Number 11. The mysterious golden bracelet of Teta. In March 2022, a farmer in the village of Sorum, Turkey, accidentally uncovered a beautiful golden bracelet while working in his field. The bracelet is about 3,300 years old and is the first of its kind to feature pictographic inscriptions. It's also the first known bracelet and reference to Teta, a figure or deity, designed with an oval frame, a shape that was significant to the Hittites, but had previously only been seen on their signet rings. Luckily, the bracelet survived being hit by farm equipment, though it was slightly dented and damaged. It has already undergone some conservation work, and more restoration is planned before it goes on display at the Sorum Archaeological Museum. So far, experts have identified the figure in the center of the raised design as a star goddess. While the full meaning of the scene remains unclear, archaeologists have conducted extensive digs in the field where it was found, but no other artifacts have turned up yet, leaving the bracelet's presence there a mystery.
Number 12. Ancient chariot tomb in China. In ancient China, it seems that warriors and noble leaders didn't travel to the afterlife alone. They took their chariots and horses with them. In November 2017, archaeologists discovered a massive burial site in Xinjiang, Henan province, containing 4 ancient chariots and the remains of around 100 horses. The site dates back to China's spring and autumn period, roughly 2,700 to 2,000 years ago. One of the chariots is especially impressive. It stands 3 meters tall and is decorated with intricate bronze and bone inlays. Based on the scale and detail, experts believe it belonged to a noble family from the ancient state of Zheng. Oddly, there were no inscriptions or written records found in the tomb. However, the discovery of numerous elaborate bronze artifacts confirms the family's wealth. Interestingly, no human remains were found, even though it's almost certain that there were people buried in the tomb originally. Given that the horses were likely buried alive, some experts believe they may have eaten the bodies of their owners over time. Gruesome, but possible.
Number 13. The enigmatic Towi Balls. Scotland is home to many examples of Neolithic stone art, but few are as mysterious as the so-called Towi Balls, sometimes just called carved stone balls, not the most exciting name admittedly. These small stone spheres are not particularly rare, and many examples have been found over the years, but what makes them so puzzling is that no one really knows what they were for. Number 13, continued. The mysterious carved stone balls. Despite all the discoveries, we're still no closer to understanding why these carved stone balls were made or what they were used for. The first one was found in the 19th century, and more have been discovered since, up until 2013. They're small enough to fit in the palm of your hand with an average diameter of 5 to 12 centimeters and made from common types of rock like granite or sandstone. Rather than being smooth spheres, they're covered with raised bumps and intricate patterns of lines and circles carved into them. Similar designs have been found on artifacts from the Picts, who lived in Scotland about 2,800 years ago. However, the stone balls themselves are believed to be much older. Some may be over 5,000 years old. There are plenty of theories about their use, ranging from weapons to a kind of builder's resume used by ancient craftspeople to show off their skills when looking for paid work. Number 14. The stolen golden heart of Anne of Brittany.
You might have seen this next artifact in the news not too long ago. In 2018, it was stolen from a museum in France, causing a bit of a national stir, until it was thankfully found and returned. It's a piece of art that really stands out because it's one of a kind, a human heart encased in pure gold, topped with a crown. This is the golden heart pendant of Anne of Brittany, and it's now safely back in the Nantes Museum. Anne was a major figure in French history. She's the only woman to have married 2 French kings, and she also married a Holy Roman Emperor before her death in 1514. Her passing was seen as a national tragedy, so much so that an official mourning period lasted over a month. In her will, she requested that her heart be removed after her death, placed in a golden container, and sent to Nantes to be buried with her parents. Most of her wishes were honored. Her heart is in the golden case, and although it may not be in her parents' tomb, at least it's still in the same city.
Number 15. The 100-year-old Antarctic fruitcake. Fruitcake has a reputation for lasting a long time, but even with that in mind, you'd probably think twice before eating this one. It's over 100 years old and was discovered in 2017 in a hut in Cape Adare, Antarctica. The hut, known as Borchgrevink's hut, was originally built in 1899 by Norwegian explorer Carsten Borchgrevink and was later used by other expeditions. It's the oldest man-made structure in Antarctica. Borchgrevink didn't bring the fruitcake himself. It's believed to have been left there by the doomed expedition of Captain Robert Falcon Scott, which took place between 1900 and 1913. A company called Huntley and Palmer's supplied food for Scott's journey, so it's likely that this cake was one of theirs. However, Scott never actually made it to Cape Adare, so the cake probably belonged to a group led by First Officer Victor Campbell, who took shelter in the hut during the harsh winter of 1911. They say the cake is in surprisingly good condition, and we'll take their word for it. Thanks to its high energy content, fruitcake remains a popular choice for explorers heading to Antarctica even today.
Subscribe and rediscover forgotten history with us. Like, share and support our journey to uncover the truth buried beneath the ruins. Until next time.